Welcome in, builders. We're going to take a look at some of the demos available from Next Fest. This is the June 10th through 17th, running right now. I'm going to try to get this out at least a few days before it ends and give people a chance to go check out some of these titles. I'm going to play through, I'm not going to say the full demo for each one of them, but a decent amount of time. Just my initial impression. Do I like it? Do I not like it? Am I adding it to my wish list? Was it already there? And we'll take a look and see what some of the stuff that's coming up. I'm got quite a few on here. I probably will not have time to look at every single one. I think there's like over 1,700, I think, or something this time around. It's a pretty big one, and I'm absolutely loving that Steam has revived the idea of demos. Now they're using this as a marketing tool. That's whatever. I like that we have demos back. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid and you'd get one of those CDs, or God forbid, one of those floppy disks that had all the try these 100 demos. Those were the coolest thing ever. And some of my favorite games that I played as a kid, I found through demos. Beyond that, I feel in modern time, especially if you're buying outside of Steam, it is pretty anti-consumer that we don't have more demos slash easier return policies for things that just don't work, things that were frankly falsely advertised. So I am absolutely loving these Steam Fests. I hope they continue with them. They seem to be very popular. I've watched some videos from devs who have put their games in here, and they seem to really like them. It's a chance for them to get wish listed, which is super duper important, especially for small studios. A chance to get some feedback too, that maybe their low exposure game hasn't had the opportunity to get. So all around, I am super excited, and let's take a look at some titles. These are going to be in no particular order. They're mostly going to be just a smattering of different things. Nothing, no theme here to my list other than these are things that Babel are interested in. Okay, I'm going to go get started on our first one, and I will bring you right back in to see it. All right, first game we are going to look at is called Heart of the Machine by Arson Games and published by Hooded Horse. You may recognize Hooded Horse. They are an up-and-comer in the strategy, building, tactics, all the stuff I love. This name keeps coming up more and more. I have high hopes for the Hooded Horse. As for Heart of the Machine, on Steam, the tags are Strategy, Simulation, Grand Strategy, 4X, War, and the game itself calls itself an RPG. Let's go ahead and hop on in. I played this for a couple hours, actually, and I'm in Chapter 1, still in the demo. There's been tons and tons of content. So far, it has been a bit on rails. It is, and the game's called it out and said, hey, this is tutorial, and Chapter 1 is pretty on rails. Chapter 2 is where it gets very sandboxy, and I think there's a way you could start in the sandbox section. So what are you doing here? You are a AI that gains sentience, and you immediately are like, humans are probably going to snuff me out if they discover me. I got to protect myself. So immediately you start hacking other androids and taking them over to spread your consciousness. Once you've done that, you've got this plan where you're going to have a secret bunker, and that goes awry, and you build this tower on accident. And from this tower, this houses our main consciousness, we start spreading out our influence. So right now I don't have much. I've spread out on collecting resources. That's kind of these little legs you're seeing. I have hidden away android chambers inside other civilian buildings where I'm building replacements. And over here, I've started generating extra power. One of the main features is there are, I guess you'd call them moral quandaries or just choices, choose your own adventure choices. And one of mine was, hey, there's way too many homeless tents around here. I need room to be able to build. Do you want to kill all the humans, or you could build a house and let them live there? So I decided I was going to build the house. So I did that. I got some rewards. Now I am trying to feed and get clean water for these humans. And it feels like a distinct branch from if I had killed them all. Obviously, I would be doing something else. And that seems to kind of be the main theme here. You have to make choices. And of course, there's various rewards and whatnot. And the claim is that there's going to be branching story/scenarios leading to, at launch, 10 different endings, is my understanding. And later on, they set up to like 40, which is a lot of endings. So, what does it look like? It is turn-based. You have a certain amount of action points that you can use each turn, and a certain amount of mental energy. And those are your two like limiting factors on what you can do. So like if I want to queue a building up, that takes a mental energy. Each of my units has a certain amount of AP, and I can like add AP to them by spending my mental energy and my extra AP. Let's say I'm in combat and somebody gets killed, I could spend that to spawn out another android from one of my hidden factories. It's been pretty interesting so far. It feels kind of choose your own adventure-y. I love that the map is procedural, and it is huge. We are looking at, when I zoom in here, like one block. So this is like that military base. This is that base that we're looking at right here, just for a sense of scale. And this is the map. I believe when I started this time around, I was like here, and I decided when I was going to build my base, I wanted to do it over here. So I migrated here, took a couple turns to run all my bots over there. It was pretty neat. And various activities will come up. There's different unlocks that you can do. You need different bot types. I've got technicians. I've got some different fighters because I just came out of doing some combat. I've got a infiltrator guy. He's dressed like a private security bot. So I use him to infiltrate into military bases for various missions I was doing. And there's a few other kinds too. They have different things they're good at. Like these guys are obviously set for combat. You can customize them with different pieces, equipment you have stole, bought, or researched. So this guy's like my close range heavy fighter. This guy is my tech bot. He has extra CPUs, so he's better at repairing and building and doing like technical work for me. I had kind of another that was like a light jack of all trade bot. And I believe there are many more that you can unlock. And I love how easy it is to customize these. So like, oh no, actually I wanted to have optical processors. I do that, I click apply changes, 2 turns go by, he'll have it changed. It's kind of neat. I like the idea that these Android shells I have are just that. They're just a shell. You use them, they die in combat, you just raise another one, or you hack another one. It's kind of an interesting feel to it for an RPG where the characters don't matter, almost. Like, the character is the AI. So, pretty interesting there. My worry on the game would be that the different branches don't feel different enough. Now, I don't know that. I haven't played that far. But that would be my worry about the game. So hopefully I can see that there are very distinct paths that you can take. And like I said, if my choices were kill all the humans or take care of these humans. So that felt like a pretty distinct branch right there. Overall, I give this one a big thumbs up. I think if you are interested in turn-based strategy, choose your own adventure, sandboxy type games, this would be something for you. The base building is pretty interesting. It's based around having these network connections, so these are coming from there, but I also can branch off of my already set branches, and there's whole mechanics around why you would or wouldn't want to do that. I think it's decent enough. I did note that I have all this on like one branch, and when I got attacked, they really messed all this up. So I could see why you'd want to spread things out so they can't take down your entire network all at the same time. Overall, I think that's enough babbling about this one. I give this one a good thumbs up. I definitely would suggest checking this one out. Okay, let's check out another game. Alright, next one we're going to look at here is called Metal Slug Tactics by Lykear Studio. Their little blurb here says, Metal Slug Tactics brings the explosive charm and nostalgia of the cult Metal Slug series to the tactical scene. Get ready for an intense ride through the best of both worlds. Classical arcade action and roguelite tactical thrills. Jump into Combat Zone and revive your Metal Slug nostalgia in a whole new way. This one seems like it's alright. It doesn't seem like it's quite up my alley. I do like me some tactical RPG action. This one's a little too arcadey for me. I do think that if this is your aesthetic, though, I definitely see this being a good one. The Steam Store has this one listed as turn-based tactical RPG strategy war 2D, and I really like the I'm gonna call it Super Nintendo-esque soundtrack and just the vibes of how all the units kind of bounce around and have that idle animation. Definitely something I think that people who have that nostalgia would definitely like. I didn't go do it very far in this one. Like I said, this one just doesn't feel like it's for me. But if you're liking the aesthetic here, pretty interesting. It seems like there's going to be a whole cast of characters. Like I had to select my characters that were going to go on the mission. Definitely could see if you're into like kind of a lighthearted, maybe a little on the lighter side tactical game, this could be one for you. Think for me, this one's going to be a pass. All right, let's take a look at another one. All right, this one might be a little bit of a cheat because I have looked at Zephon before. In fact, I have a Dirty 30 introduction video on the channel if you want to see some more right now. There's a decent chance that I will probably stream this demo in the next couple weeks because I want to show this game off in a little bit more depth. Zephon is the, I guess you'd call it, spiritual successor to Gladius 40K Relics of War. It uses, I assume it's the same engine. It is very close mechanically to that game. So if you like the strategy and tactics of that, you will find more here. The benefit of that is this is a very refined rule set. They have done a good job of balancing Gladius, and we are at that starting point with Zephon. Let me get you in. I'm going to bring you in a bit early mid-game so we can see some stuff in action here. Okay, I've played 30-something turns into this one, and yeah, I am still enjoying this. I loved Gladius. I think this is an interesting evolution to it, but it's trying to do some of its own things. I'm not sure if this is a hit or a miss for me yet, but one of the big differences here is rather than individual factions per se, it's more like you're like a character. The faction is your character, and you have three overarching kind of technology paths. You have like humanity, cyber, and the voice, and that represents the humanity. The cyber, which is kind of like Zephon was a global AI that tried to like take over and fight off the alien invasion force, and the alien invasion force of the voice. So whoever you're playing, they get the text for that faction sooner. So I am playing with the cyber units, so I get my cyber hero way down here in tier 1. If I was playing as the human-based one, I would have the commander, and if I was playing as the voice, I would have the whisper of Goldroch, and that would be my tier 1. And all the text move like that. So the various like cyber text would move down from, or the cyber texts are moved down for me. The voice text and humanity text are not. And there's some different texts that different people do. There's like an espionage mechanic for each of the 3 different types. And it uses a similar research tree to Gladius where you have to have a certain number of texts from each tier and then you can go up to the next one, or you can backtrack and continue to fill in. This is a very solid, it's definitely a strategy game, but it's like strategy borderlining on tactics. And what I mean by that is the combat is pretty tight. I came down here, I was clearing out some aliens, and then I had these like raider forces kind of started flanking me, and I've got these other alien forces over here, so I'm kind of like having a fighting retreat backwards. I got my hero out at 2 HP, so hopefully she can make it out to safety. The faction I'm playing only gets 1 city. I'm not allowed to found more, but I have this big plasma cannon that by default I can shoot about this far away from my city, whereas normally you have like a 3-hex-ish range with most cities. And it looks like I have technologies that can upgrade that, where I can extend its range, extend its accuracy. I have an interesting little mechanic. And another one of my bonuses for this faction is I get more resources by capturing these points of interest than another faction would get. So I definitely suggest checking this one out if you like strategy, tactical type games. This is not a Civilization type game. Now it kind of sort of looks like it, with hexes and cities and whatnot, but it is not that level of depth. It is more like a war game. Yes, you will found cities. Yes, you will build buildings, and the city building mechanics I really like. You acquire hexes, and depending on the terrain, there's various amounts of room for how many things you can put in it, and different square or different hexes will have different bonuses. So I'd get extra cyber chips and minerals from this one, and that's based on this point of interest being here, etc., etc. So the building mechanics for the cities are quite strategic. Like, you have to really think about what you're doing, what you need, what you can greed. Like, can you go with a tech rush? Maybe you need an influence rush. It's pretty interesting. I like that. And having all the units and technologies available from all three factions means that maybe you have a little more tactical flexibility than in a game where you have to pick your only faction. Now, on the downside, that does kind of make it feel a little watered down so far, but hopefully they will play more and more distinct once I actually sink my teeth into the game a bit more. And compared to Gladius, there is a little bit more on-map story. You can meet not necessarily hostile neutral factions that you can try to make peace with, or you can attack, or they give you like quests, or etc., etc. Quite good there. The UI just feels really, really slick. Like, all these menus feel real good. The art I quite like. Like I said, the tech tree's pretty good. They just added tier 6 into the current demo, and so there's some new units to play with that I haven't seen in the previous ones. Quite liking this one. This one gets 2 thumbs up from me. I definitely think you should check this one out. If nothing else, check it out while there's a free demo. If you haven't played Gladius, and find out if that's your flavor of strategy you like or dislike, so you can make a good decision when the game comes out. But I think if you're into wargaming, tactical strategy battles, I think this is definitely a win, and you should check this one out. So those are 3 titles from this Steam Next Fest that I've checked out so far. Do not worry, I am not going to stop. I need to get my regular video stuff together, but I will continue throughout the entirety of Next Fest. I believe it ends on the 17th? Yeah, until the 17th. I'm going to keep checking out games. I'm going to try to get at least like one about every day, and I'll probably put out another video or 2 just on some more thoughts on what I've tried out and what I liked. I am super curious for other people to make suggestions. Like I mentioned at the beginning, there's like 1,700 different ones. There's no way I can explore them all. So if you have something you tried out and you really liked, or maybe you tried something that was disappointing to you, leave a comment on here and let me know. Hopefully there'll be time that if I see something that sparks my interest, I may check out, and I'm much more likely to cover something on the channel if I've tried a demo for it. So unfortunately, I just don't have all the time in the world. If I did, I would be blitzing through here trying 5+ games a day, but as it is right now, I just cannot do that. So I'm asking for help, builders. Send me some signals. What's cool? What'd you find? You find some hidden gems? I mean, you can kind of see my wish list here. Some of the stuff I have not had time to check out yet, but definitely am going to. Looking forward to a couple of these already. And I am sure once I dig in past my wish list ones that I haven't had a chance to try out, I'm going to be looking for other things to try. So get in your suggestions now. I much appreciate it. If you had any thoughts on any of the things I covered here, or if you agreed or disagreed, let me know, and I will continue my exploration here. We're looking for gaming goodie huts. Let's hope we can find some good ones this time around. All right, builders, I will catch you in the next one. Take care and build something cool.